It was a chilly October evening when I first noticed the change in Emily. Our once warm and lively conversations had become strained, often drifting into silence punctuated by tension. I could feel it, the distance growing between us. But it wasn't until I stumbled upon a series of messages on her phone that the truth became undeniable. My world shattered when I realized that she was having an affair. Confronting her was a mixture of anger and disbelief. Emily's initial response was one of shock, but it quickly morphed into a defense filled with excuses and manipulations. She painted herself as the victim, claiming that she was unhappy in our marriage and had turned to someone else for comfort. It was infuriating to hear her twist the narrative, but deep down, I knew I needed a way to expose her deceit and hold her accountable for her actions. That's when I decided we needed couples therapy. I suggested it as a way to help us communicate better, believing it might also help her realize the impact of her betrayal. Emily agreed without hesitation, perhaps thinking it would ease her conscience or provide her with a platform to further manipulate me. Little did she know I had ulterior motives. During our sessions, I discreetly recorded everything. I had hidden a small digital voice recorder in my pocket, capturing each exchange with meticulous care. As Emily spoke, I listened closely, hearing her justifications and emotional manipulations spill out, like a masterclass in deceit. I felt a strange sense of empowerment. I was collecting evidence that would expose her true nature. After several sessions, I began to piece together a narrative, editing the recordings into a documentary-style video that would highlight her manipulation and betrayals. I intended to screen it for our closest family and friends, allowing them to see the woman I once loved but who had turned into someone unrecognizable. It was a risky move, but I was desperate for validation and clarity. The day of the screening arrived. I had invited close friends and family under the guise of a casual gathering. I played it off as a night of sharing memories and laughter, a far cry from the storm brewing beneath the surface. As our guests gathered, I could feel the weight of anticipation building inside me. When everyone was settled, I took a deep breath and pressed play. The video began with clips from our early therapy sessions, showcasing Emily's initial attempts to appear remorseful and contrite. I edited the footage to highlight her emotional manipulation, cutting in her justifications for her affair and how she consistently deflected blame onto me. "Michael, you have to understand that I felt so lonely," she had said in one segment, her voice dripping with false sincerity. "It wasn't just about the other man, it was about what we lost." I watched as the reactions in the room shifted, gasps echoing through the space. Friends exchanged concerned glances, and I could see the shock on their faces as they absorbed the reality of her words. In the next segment, Emily's tone changed, becoming more defensive and aggressive. "I never meant for it to happen. You made me feel like I was nothing. I had to find validation somewhere," she argued, her voice rising in indignation. As I continued to play the video, I saw Emily's expression shift from shock to anger. She had no idea what was coming. "Stop it. You can't do this to me," she shouted, rising from her seat as the footage continued to roll. The video showed moments of her manipulating situations to make me feel guilty, twisting our shared experiences to suit her narrative. "You were always working late. You never made time for me," she claimed in one part, completely disregarding her own actions. When the final segment aired, it revealed the raw, unfiltered truth of her betrayal. I had recorded her admitting to her affair, not only with the other man, but also expressing regret not for hurting me, but for getting caught. "I just wanted to feel something again. I didn't think it would go this far," she confessed. The room erupted in chaos. Friends and family gasped and murmured in disbelief as Emily stood frozen, her face a mask of shock and humiliation. I could see her processing the fallout, her entire world crumbling around her. "Michael, how could you do this?" she finally stammered, tears streaming down her face. "You've turned my life into a nightmare." "I didn't turn your life into a nightmare, Emily. You did that when you chose to betray me," I replied, my voice steady and unwavering. "This isn't just about us, it's about holding you accountable for your choices." Our friends were now visibly uncomfortable, shifting in their seats as they witnessed the unraveling of the facade Emily had maintained for so long. One friend, who had known us for years, stood up to confront her. "Emily, I can't believe you would do something like this. How could you hurt Michael like that?" Emily's eyes darted around the room, searching for support, but instead she found judgment. "You don't understand. I was unhappy. I needed something different," she exclaimed, her desperation palpable. But the truth had been laid bare, and her justifications fell flat. "You can't blame your actions on anyone else," I said firmly. "You made a choice, and now you have to live with the consequences." As the room fell silent, I took a moment to gather my thoughts. I wanted you all to see the truth. This isn't just about a broken marriage, it's about the damage that deceit can cause to everyone involved. We all deserve honesty in our relationships. With that, I turned to Emily, who was still standing there, trembling. "I hope you take this opportunity to reflect on your choices. You've hurt not just me, but everyone who cared about you." The confrontation marked a turning point, not just for Emily, but for me as well. I had taken a stand, asserting my worth and reclaiming my narrative. The fallout was tumultuous. Friends reached out to offer support, while others expressed disappointment in Emily. It felt liberating to finally let go of the burden I had been carrying. In the days that followed, Emily tried to reach out, seeking forgiveness and trying to mend our broken relationship. But I was resolute. I knew I deserved better than someone who had betrayed my trust. I took time to heal, surrounded by friends who had stood by me through the chaos. Ultimately, the experience taught me valuable lessons about love, honesty, and the importance of confronting the truth, no matter how painful it may be. I realized that while betrayal could shatter a relationship, it could also pave the way for personal growth and newfound strength. As I looked toward the future, I felt a sense of hope. I was ready to embrace a new chapter in my life, one that would be defined by honesty, trust, and a commitment to myself above all else. The past was a lesson learned, but the future was mine to shape, free from the shadows of betrayal.